What's going on, lovely, peacefuls, and kind souls? Today's video is going to be on how to feel worthy. I am going to do a little deep dive into how to hone in on your self-love, how to feel worthy. We're going to get rid of that guilty feeling that people feel that ends up stressing them out in life. And I'm going to give you some tools that you could implement today. And if you stay till the end, you will get a free gift of mine. But before I continue, I want you to subscribe, like, and share this video and hit the notification bell if you want more of my weekly Wednesday videos, miércoles if you speak Spanish, that's one of my many languages that have been passed down from me. So this video is to help you break through those barriers and start to appreciate who you are, self-acceptance, how to receive with grace and with love and not anxiety, because I know that is a big thing. It used to be a big thing for me, and it's a big thing for people that I do come across and have come across in my life. Comment below if you can relate with not being able to receive, if you're more of a giver and not on the receiving end. For those of you who have no clue who I am and you're just listening to me talk and you want to deep dive into this video, I am Abishai L, an international best-selling author of The Power of Why book. I wrote chapter 3, international speaker, holistic health coach, and founder of the 12-week Eat Stress Away program, where I help professional and entrepreneurial women get rid of stress through nutrition and lifestyle changes, utilizing my 6-step Eat Stress Away method. In 90 days, they are able to get rid of their stress. So without further ado, let's deep dive into this video. So like I said, stay till the end, and I'm going to give you some opportunities to actually work with me so we can create a strategy for you to begin to love yourself immensely and receive and manifest with more positivity. So a lot of people can relate to not feeling worthy in this life, and it definitely stems from childhood. I know in my own life I struggled with feeling worthy, and that is because, you know, at a very early age I experienced something very traumatic that made me feel like absolute shit. Going through abuse and things like that of that nature. I've talked about this many times throughout my podcast, in the Power of Why book that I've written. So people are no stranger to that story. I've experienced, and I'm not going to go into specific detail for this particular video, but any abuse that you can name, I've experienced it. And it happened very early. In my childhood, I was exposed to a criminal and a monster who did not function like normal people and flipped, and you would smile in front of other people's faces, but I would see a different side to them, and my body was not respected at a very early age. I refuse to call them a person. They were an absolute monster, and I ended up growing up feeling guilty for receiving good things in life and feeling like I owed somebody and not really feeling confident within myself. So not really feeling confident within myself and feeling as if I was not deserving to have the best life, because when something deep, dark happens to you, you tend to think that you're the person that did that to you. Because you begin to feel guilty yourself. Like, how did I let this happen? Even though I was a child, about 2.5 to 3, and very defenseless, you end up growing up, and this follows you into your teenage years, into your adult years, into your relationships, your friendships, with everything, with everyday life. How you deal with people, how you take to people. And what I realized about myself is that I felt guilty because I felt dirty. I felt absolutely off balance. I felt messy. I just felt like I was in a different world and I wasn't deserving of good things because something bad happened to me. Comment below if you can relate to that, and let me know if that is your issue. Do you even know how to arrive at the root cause? And if you currently are struggling with feeling deserving, let me know below. So it transferred into my teenage years and into my adult years. I would feel guilty for treating myself with kindness, and I actually manifested unintentionally, and I'm going to talk about manifestation next week on my podcast. So if you want to subscribe, that's in the description box below. The new episodes premiere next Tuesday, January 5th, and we do deep dives weekly. So it started to manifest in my relationships with people. I started to manifest jealous people who didn't want me to have anything because I felt like I wasn't deserving. And I realized this pattern. Even into adult years, I'm like, you know what? There's a pattern and you have to cut it at the root. Once you start to realize where things stem from and why you behave the way you do, you can start to realize why people behave the same way. It's not that they're right in their behavior, and it's not that you manifested it intentionally. However, it's what you think you deserve, so people are giving you what you deserve. And I'll put in more of a perspective for you. Let's just say you didn't set your clear boundaries with people. Let's say you didn't tell your friends, you didn't tell your, coworkers that you don't like when people come in late. You don't like when people come to functions that you have late. So let's say people, because they don't know your boundaries, they come in 30 to 45 minutes late. This is what happens when you manifest unintentionally. And what I mean by that is not being aware of what happened to you to make you behave a certain way, to then manifest people who are showing you what you're not self-aware of. If you want me to explain that even better, comment below if that went over your head. Basically, you're unintentional, because you're not self-aware of what happened to you, you end up manifesting the same people who treated you like shit, years back or years ago again, because you didn't set those boundaries with yourself. So I know how I was treated, and I know that if I see someone who even remotely acts like that, you are not in my life at all. You never are invited. I don't care if you die. Like, I'm not being mean. I'm not attending the funeral. I'm not going to shed a tear, because once you're cut off from me, you're cut off from me. Period. You're not in my universe. And I'm the blunt health coach. I'm not the holistic health coach. It's all like, here, have a glass of water and drink the broccoli. Drink the broccoli juice, and life is great. Like, people had different lives, so I'm a little more blunt, and that's why my clients love me so much, because they deal with real shit, and no one wants to hear about, fluff shit at the end of the day. Okay, so this is what you're gonna get on this motherfucking channel, okay? So that's what I realized, is that I started to manifest unintentionally people who were, and then that resentment comes in. Then you start to resent people, but it's like, can you really resent people for showing you what boundaries you have not set? They're not aware of your boundaries. So that's number one. What I want you to do is start writing down your boundaries. What are you willing to accept? This is the beginning. I'll say it again. This is the beginning of self-love, is recognizing what your boundaries. You have to know, even if you're not self-aware as to what happened to you, you know what you like and what you don't like. Like I said, you may not like when people arrive late to a function. You may feel disrespected, but you may not say anything. I want you to start writing down your boundaries and speaking out about them. Letting people know. You don't have to be confrontational. You can just say, I prefer, if say you handed out an invite and you're like, okay, the function starts at 7:30 and I want people to arrive 10 to 15 minutes early. If they don't arrive 10 to 15 minutes early, maybe don't let them in. They crossed your boundary. You know, I could see if they called ahead of time, but if they just feel, oh, no. So you have to set those boundaries in place, and you have to be clear about them. Make them clear. What it's gonna take for you is to put action behind it and implement that. And that's where I come in. That's where I work with my clients, so they can start to speak up for themselves. So they can start to love themselves enough to say, no, I deserve respect that I'm giving. You know, we don't want any narcissistic relationships happening where it's one-sided and you're just like, well, they set their boundaries, but they're not following mine. No, we don't do that shit here. We put that to rest. Okay? So I want you to start writing down what you want from people, what you expect from yourself first, what you want from other people. This could be any boundaries, things that you don't like. I want you to write this in the next column. Then I want you to make another column and say things that I do like. Things that I do like that I want to keep. Okay? And then I want you to have a refocus section. So I want you to focus solely on what you do like. Why? Because that's going to start to blossom the love within you. That love within you is going to start blossoming for yourself. Okay? I also want you to affirm, so this is the second thing, write down some affirmations and say, I am not what happened to me. I create my own reality. I will find things I love about myself. I am deserving. Oh, that's a big juicy one, because this is what this video is about. I'm deserving of the respect that I give. I will be, and I put this in my story because I saw it was really good. My Instagram story. I will be the energy that I want to receive. I am functioning at a high vibration in the present moment because this is what I deserve. My deserving has nothing to do with my looks. My deserving has nothing to do with how much funds I make. My deserving has nothing to do with what people think I deserve. My deserving has to do with I am meant to be here, and I am deserving because I am a person. And I was created by the divine creator. And that's all that fucking matters at the end of the day. People will nitpick. And this goes to my third tip. People are gonna nitpick at you. They're gonna constantly do that. You know why? Because they do not feel comfortable with themselves. You gotta let them be. You need to observe the behavior, not absorb the behavior. If someone starts harassing, bullying you, talking at you, there's a difference between talking to you and talking at you. You have a right, and I'm going to say this, and I really want you to get this. You have a divine right to speak up for yourself. You have a divine right to defend and speak up for yourself without guilt. You have a divine right to speak up for yourself without guilt. You are given a voice, use it. Nothing has to be confrontational, but you do need to utilize your voice and let people know where you're coming from. Sometimes you're going to be faced with situations where someone may, get aggressive. That's them. A lot of times that anxiety comes in when someone gets aggressive because you're like, oh man, what if they start a ruckus? What if they start trouble? That's the karma they're going to receive. That has nothing to do with you. If you do what spirit tells you to do, I know the difference between when my ego is saying speak, that's when I don't. And sometimes I have before, and I've seen the consequences of that, and I wasn't going to be hurt, but someone else would have been. Anyway, your ego versus your spirit, okay? When spirit is talking, that's when you have to say it. When you feel a prompting and an urging and like, okay, I have to say this now because I can't sleep, I can't rest, I just feel it. It's not gonna feel like anxiety, it's just gonna feel like a flow. And sometimes it'll just come out of you. That's when the right time to say something. And then you shake the dust, like it says in the Bibliohelios, which is the Sun book, S-U-N. And you shake the dust off your feet and keep it moving. People are always going to talk. People are always going to pick. You know, a lot of people think I'm a beautiful looking woman and blah, 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 but they're still hating bitches. You know, and even men who act like bitches, not women. I'm not talking about women, I'm talking about bitches, meaning low vibrational people, and men who act like low vibrational people along with the bitches. So I call all of them bitches together. Who will talk about you. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. People will find anything. If there's a lint ball, they will magnify that. Oh, did you see the lint ball on her shirt? Who gives a fuck? That should not make you feel like less of a person. So, that's what I want you to do. Those are the exercises. Start to set your boundaries. Okay? Say those affirmations. Thirdly, you have to observe and not absorb. Because I know when you're dealing with gaining your confidence, that's when people pick. People don't pick at you that much when you're really confident. And if they do, they're stupid. They're stupid anyway, to be picking. Because it's like, who has time to do that? You know what I mean? But that's when you have to strengthen your solar plexus and your sacral chakra and your root chakra. And some of you need red jasper. I'm not seeing obsidian, Merlin, but it's like with yellow speckles. Merlinite, is it Merlinite? Merlinite stone. Merlinite stone with like yellow specks I'm seeing. Whatever stone that is, that's what I'm seeing. It's like a it's like gray and then there's black and then there's yellow specks I'm seeing. Yes, I'm a spiritual healer, so I speak to beings intuitively and very unashamed. I've been doing this since I was a child. I just thought everybody did this, but I guess everybody doesn't, but I don't think it's weird. So anyway, for whatever reason, I'm seeing a snake eye. A lot of you need to be, and snakes are noble creatures, but there's also a shadow side to snakes. Snakes are actually good. However, the snake I'm seeing is very sly, and some of you need to really start to see how you feel around certain people. Does your frequency go up or is your frequency down? I'm really seeing you need to get rid of those people. Some of you need obsidian because it'll help rid of negative energy. A lot of low vibrational energies can't thrive around other frequencies. A lot of people think crystals are foo-foo or some bullshit. It's like, no. Listen, if you play certain music, frequencies and music with cancer cells, you will see those abnormal cancer cells die off. Same with crystals. Crystals are not really solid, they're water. We're made up of 60 to 70% water. It's a frequency, and it's a high frequency with different healing properties. So for those of you who are foo-foo, please do your metaphysical research before you say some shit that gives you bad karma. So obsidian, I said red jasper. Those are the ones that I'm seeing. I usually pick up on citrine. Just strengthen those areas. And a lot of people say chakras and they don't really explain them, and some people think chakras don't exist. And when I say chakra, which is I guess Sanskrit for wheel, okay? Wheel. Okay. When I think of wheels, I think of cells. Okay, your cells are round. Okay, Chakra is Sanskrit. I said it that way for a reason. It's a circle, so it's like a wheel, okay? In that wheel, I'm seeing a visual of a bubble, okay? In each energy center, it's an energy center, but I'm seeing specifically a bubble. There's a home within each energy center, okay? What is in your home? What is in each home in your energy center? Okay? And if you want to know more about chakra healing and things like that, you can drop a comment below because I do chakra crystal healing and all of that. What is specifically in your home? So you could get to know the chakras. What is in your solar plexus home? What memory is held there? Because listen, we're all content. Time doesn't exist, so you can see in the past, you can see in the present, and if you are evates, you could see in the future as well. That means prophet, prophetess, fortune teller, which I do. Then you could see in the future. What is in your home presently? What's there? That's how you begin to activate your subconscious. You could transmute what happened to you in the to the positive. So I want you to begin to go back in time. And sometimes it doesn't take you going back. Sometimes it just says, you know what, I don't want this behavior anymore. I'm going to leave it. So don't think you always have to deep dive. But some of you do, you know, to feel worthy. What did someone say something to you? I'm picking up for someone, a coach might have said something to you when you were little, when you were like in 5th grade or something. There's a coach. I don't know if they put you down or said something about your weight for some of you, or maybe I'm picking up something. Maybe someone said that, you know, you were fat or chubby, and I don't know what was said. I don't know who's going to watch this video, but I had to say that. So maybe someone said that to you, and now you don't feel worthy of anything because you still feel like shit. You're still holding that. And that's what chakras mean to me. Chakras hold memories, and there's energy blockages that have to be cleared out of that. And that's why it's good. I actually wrote a blog on this lady's who I worked with to write the book, which was international bestseller, The Power of Why. I wrote about minimalism and how when you hoard things, that's a mental thing. You're mentally and emotionally hoarding those old thoughts, and that's why it's great to really clear those energies and allow things to help you, like nutrition, like fitness, like lifestyle, like crystals, like all of that. All of that. That's a new word. All of it. Okay, so that's what I am picking up. For some of you, I'm seeing that sacral and solar plexus is very gray and it's very murky. It's murky there. It's indecisive. You have to decide that you're worthy of love and of self-love. You have to make that choice today. When you make a choice and say, hey, you know what? I may not feel like that all the way, but I'm going to speak it. I'm going to speak it. I'm going to let it lead me down the pathway of positivity and positive thinking about myself. And I'm going to begin. Once you start, you have to clear the clutter, whether that's people, whether that's your thoughts, whether that's getting rid of stuff in your home, in the corners of your home. You know, the feng shui, do it. You know? So I hope this video was helpful. If you stay till the end, you get to book a 15-minute free call with me so we can strategize on how you can begin to love yourself. I will give you some tips and tools that you could start implementing that are a little deeper than I do at these videos. If you are interested in my Eat Stress Away program, which is open for enrollment as always for one-to-one or group coaching, you can also reach me in the description box below. All the information is in there. Have a wonderful day, loverly peacefuls, and see you next week. Mwah!